Adding images, working with the body section. The ability to add images to HTML document content introduces lots of exciting possibilities. Images are added using the image tag. The image tag always includes the following attributes. The source attribute, src. This specifies the URL, also known as the absolute web addresses, location. And not location as in internet, the location of the images file. In which document is it lying, and what is the format of the source of the file. Width and height attributes. This specifies pixel width and height of the area the image will occupy. And then of course the alt attribute, this specifies the text describing the image. So this would be useful in case the image does not load. We can see a little piece of text that indicates what image will be visible right there. Now to commence with this exercise, I would request that you fetch a picture you would like to place in your HTML document. Now common bitmap graphics that are very well known for web use would be a normal JPEG image, very camera oriented, a PNG file, and then of course a GIF file. These three documents are equally appropriate for web-based designs, and I recommend you get a picture with a very standard name that we can use for the exercise. So before we get started with the code, let's quickly create a little folder where we can place our picture as well as our HTML file alongside each other. So I'm going to create a new folder called picture, and within the folder I'll be placing my image. So my image is currently named Sheriff, and the type is a PNG file. So here you can immediately go specify the type. This will be very handy once we start typing the code. Alright, let's get started. I'm currently in Notepad++. If you are working in the normal plain text editor Notepad, you can continue typing as I am as well. The only thing you will not receive is of course the color code, but that is not a necessity. First things first, I'm going to assign my language to HTML, and I'm going to save my document immediately next to my picture, where we saved it in the pictures folder. So go save your document, your HTML document, within that pictures folder. So it's right next to the picture you are going to assign. I'm going to name the file picture. Those who are working with a normal notepad, remember to add your extension .html. Alright, so my file has been assigned as picture.html, and I'm going to get started with the first line of code, which is the document type declaration. After the doc type declaration, I will be assigning the main root tag, which is the HTML tag. And out of habit, I'm going to close that tag immediately just in case I might forget as I continue typing my text. The next code I will be adding would be the very first section after the document type declaration, and that would be the head section. The head section, of course, contains the information regarding the document, also known as backstage view. Within the head, I will add a title. The title describes the document. The title I will name my picture page. Seemed appropriate enough. And of course, we will also be closing our title. Alright, so the head section has been complete. Next, we will add the body section. Now, as you can imagine, the picture will be placed in the body section because the picture falls under the category of content. Now, as I've placed my body tag, I'm also going to place the closing tag. Once again, just in case I forget, it doesn't matter if you place it before or after. I feel comfortable placing both containers. So let's add our image. Now, as you can remember, the tag we used for placing images is of course the image source tag. So let's get it started. img src for source. We will identify the source, in other words the name of the file now. Within quotations, my file's name is sheriff.png. Now if you have a JPEG, you first identify the name of the file and then of course the extension. Like in the example, just to refresh you, here's my picture's name, Sheriff, and there's its extension, PNG file. Thus, in my image source, it's called sheriff.png. So just make sure of the name of your file as well as its extension. Once that has been applied, you close the quotation, and then we apply the width and height attributes. Now the width will be, I'm going to make mine 200 px, which identifies pixels. After that, I'll be adding height, and this I will make 200 pixels as well, just to have a very standard size. And then after the width and height's been added, we will add the alt attribute, which can help a lot if your image is not loading. You can actually see the text of the image. So my alt will be sheriff badge. I'm literally describing the image then. Sheriff badge, and then of course we close the tag. Now our image source does not necessarily need a closing tag. This is enough to provide the image. So let's save the document and run. Now as you can see, there's my sheriff badge previewed in a 200 by 200 pixel formation. But then of course the question that has to be covered is, what about the case of a picture being in a location file not near your HTML file? Well, this is also easily resolved. For the new demonstration, I've removed my picture file from my pictures location document, and I've placed it in a new folder called picture1. So it's not in the same folder as my HTML file. Thus, I need to provide a path for HTML to fetch the document. For instance, if we test it now, it's still sheriff.png. If I run the document as it is now, the image will not appear because it cannot locate the file. The file is not next to the HTML document anymore, but it's within a different path. So I need to identify the path as well. Now this is quite easy. Step 1 is to navigate to the folder where the image you request is located. You right click on the image and you look at its properties. Once properties have been selected, you can take the location line, highlight it, copy, go back to your code, and you can paste it before the name identification. And as you can see, I've pasted my hard drive, users, my name, documents, picture 1, and of course end off with the /, save, and if I run the document now, the badge is available again. So that is the option for an image being in a different location than your HTML document, which is quite different because now you are referring to a path to where your document lies. But of course you make it a lot easier for yourself if you place your image where your HTML is located as well.